want to welcome everybody to my channel, The Candy Shop. I am so excited. The Candy Shop. So this is my story time, The Candy Shop. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Candy Shop. I'm Candace.
Hey, it's Khadi B.
And I'm your girl, Candy Washington. What's up?
And this is the Insecure recap, review, whatever you want to call it. Today's episode was titled Surviving Okay. So first of all, thank you all for joining me. I forgot to put on my banner. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment on this live, and subscribe to us as well. I've put all of our pages in the description. Hopefully Popcorn joins us. I've invited her. So she was supposed to join. I don't know where she is, but Popcorn, we're missing you, girl. Hopefully you're able to join. But shout out to the Queen of Cheesecake. She says, hi, everyone. Welcome to the Candy Shop. Please make sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on your notifications to all for the latest updates and lives. And hi, Sip with D. It's good to see you. Yes, I'm glad you are here. And hey, Khadi B. Hi, just simply thank you for joining. And hey, Cat in the chat.
Hey, Cat in the chat.
Good to see you. So I know, Khadi, your thoughts on this episode.
I don't want to take away from the fact that there was a serious issue that was going on. I just kind of felt the episode was a little boring.
Yeah. What did you think, Candy? I was about to call you by name.
You do that a lot.
It's okay. I'll answer to it. It's all good. I'll take it. I didn't necessarily think it was boring, but I did think that it was a episode that tied in past themes and is also setting us up for the rest of the season, if that makes sense. So I think it was kind of like an establishing episode where it brought in the stuff where Molly had foreshadowed this. Remember when she was like, oh, you need to work on your estate and all of that stuff. We're kind of seeing the emotional disconnect between Nathan and Issa a little bit.
Yes.
And I think that was foreshadowed too. And I think that's foreshadowing what's to come with them. And then also just setting up, will they or won't they with Issa and Lauren. So I think it was sort of an establishing episode. So there wasn't a lot of drama, not a lot of conflict, but it was pulling together what had already been foreshadowed and then foreshadowing what's to come for the season.
Right. I definitely agree with you. And I just told Khadi, I said it definitely makes sense as to why they were doing the estate planning for the mom. But hey, Candace Lane, it's good to see you.
Hey. And
Super D said I made it. Laugh out loud listening from work. She also said
Super D is my girl.
Dry.
It was dry. Like I felt like it was a filler, episode.
I agree. I am a big fan of this show though, so I'm just always here for with what's going on. I did feel bad for Molly. I like the fact that we get to see her grow because it seems like Molly from maybe 2 or 3 years ago would have been completely a wreck and just getting completely in the way of what was going on. And I feel like she would have probably made it about her in the past. But this time she was like really willing to be supportive of
You're breaking up, Candace.
Can you hear me? Okay. Am I there
You're
now?
breaking up a little, but yeah.
I think you're back. Are you back?
Okay. Yeah, I'm back now. But I like the fact that Molly has grown. So with Issa, I'm gonna talk about certain scenes in the show. So of course Molly, it opens up with Molly riding somebody's face.
I mean, if I could live vicariously. Nothing is going on over here, guys. Sorry, it's not after dark. Let me calm down.
I know Molly has grown as a person in some ways, but in other ways, girl, you still riding randos.
But I'm here for it because I do think Molly has grown, and I think the difference is now, I think before she was trying to get her value and worth out of her body and what she was doing with men. And I think now she's actually just enjoying it and having fun, and it's for herself. And I kind of like seeing that, because I think sometimes on like TV shows or in society, it's like, oh well, if you're a woman who owns her sexuality, somehow you're the S word, or you're not worthy of a man, or you're still out here doing this, that, and the third. But men are allowed to own their sexuality. So I kind of like that Molly is on this path of, you know, trying to find the right partner for herself, but then also still owning her sexuality and having fun with it. Rather, I think past Molly was using sex as a crutch, if that makes sense. And it was like masking and hiding her own low self-esteem and low confidence through sex.
Because it definitely feels like she's commanding what she does now, versus, like you said, using it as a crutch and using it as something to, I guess, make herself feel better and less alone. Because now it seems like she really just is having a good time. And I'm here for it as well. I did see where she did a little bit of self-reflection towards the end of the episode because of everything that her mother's going through. But sometimes you need a season where you can slut it out. I'm sorry, I'm saying it.
No, it's true.
Yeah, she's grown. She has no ties to anybody, because it definitely seems like in prior seasons she was always somewhat in a relationship as well, or looking for
her. Always trying to force a relationship.
Her next, yeah, and so I'm just happy that she's just having a good time and not trying to be in a relationship.
Me too.
So that was funny to me, the way that the show opened up. But going to Issa and Nathan, I titled just the first scene with them, "What's going on here?" That was my question, because it just doesn't make any sense to me. I think it's a mess. I would not have.
Yeah.
No, it's just all wrong. And what did I say last week? I said Issa's gonna hurt him more if they get back together, because if Lauren shows up, that's it. And what happened on this episode? Lauren showed up and time stopped. Like she was in a daze.
Yeah, that's pathetic.
But that's where I diverge, because I think that Nathan has the same capacity to hurt Issa. I don't necessarily think that she's in the elevated spot to hurt him, because I'm sure we're going to get to it. But to that point, when she's like, "Oh, and that's why I love you," and he said, or like cute, like cute, or like, okay, like, you know what I mean? It was basically like, okay, thanks. So it was like, that's when I was just like, okay, we're seeing where they are emotionally not on the same level. So I don't know if she really loves him, or if, like you're saying, because I agree, time did stop when she saw him. But I think there's always that one person that, even if you are happy, you could be happily married, 2.5 kids, living in a white picket fence, and there's that one guy, that one girl, where you see him, you see her, and time stops. Like, it's always that. The majority of us have that, like, one person that can still kind of mess up, rock the boat a little bit. So I think it was kind of that. But I also do agree that I think Issa is still in love with Lawrence more so than Nathan.
I don't think she loves Nathan. I really think that they should have stayed friends, and I think she loves him as a friend. But and hey, Cups, shout out to Cups of Conversation.
Hi.
Hey, Cups. I don't think that Issa loves Nathan either. I think she's so awkward. I just think it awkwardly came out that she was like, "Oh, I love you," but maybe she didn't mean it like, "I'm in love with you," or whatever. Because, you know, she's pretty awkward. She's awkward. As for the Lawrence situation, yeah, I could see that she's probably still in love with Lawrence, because they didn't necessarily break up because there was something wrong with their relationship. They broke up because there was outside force. So I can totally see how when she saw him, she stopped. She ain't know what to do, right? He ain't know what to do. He just stood there too. He ain't say nothing to Condola or whatever. But for the love of all things, Issa, do not get back with that man.
Why don't you want them back together?
Oh man. Look, honestly, she don't need somebody else's baby daddy.
Y'all hear my phone? You said she doesn't need someone's baby daddy. But that when you look at it, I hate to say that that's very realistic, especially for people in their 30s to date people with children. So it sets it up. It's not like necessarily a happy ending if they are back together, because now he has the baggage of life that has happened. And so that is what a lot of people deal with today. So
Sure.
I don't mind
boyfriends that had kids. Sure.
Yeah, I don't mind them getting together, because I do see the chemistry there. I think with the way that the show has evolved, they were two people that at that time it wasn't working because of his situation financially. We never got to see them together when they were both successful, and I would want to see that. Let's talk about Issa and Molly. Oh, were you about to say something, Khadi?
Well, I just feel like their relationship has ran its course. It didn't have a natural stop. It did in the beginning, but when they got back together, it didn't really have a natural stop. I just kind of feel like over it. Lawrence is, hey, okay. That's musical chairs.
I don't know what's going on. That's my computer. The
Okay.
StreamYard being ridiculous.
It's all good.
Anything.
It's all good. I wouldn't mind.
I don't think that Lawrence has. I don't think that Lawrence is actually grown. And she has taken care of this man for so long. I mean, quite frankly, even after he didn't got his stuff together, I'm probably over it by now because I've been raised a grown man. I don't want to do that. I just feel like move on to somebody who's already fully grown. Don't raise Lawrence again.
See, I wouldn't mind seeing them back together. And I think we did see them together when they both were in a good place. Because I don't know if it was the last season or the season before that when they had gotten back together and they had this one really beautiful moment where they were both on the couch, like working. And then one time she was like, had her head in his lap and he was like playing with her hair, like these like really sweet, intimate moments. And I think, and I agree, it wasn't so much that they were working. It was more of he got this job offer in San Francisco and then Condola ends up being pregnant. So it was more of these like outside circumstances that sort of forced them apart again or forced them to have to make a really big choice in order to be together. So I wouldn't mind seeing them together again. And yeah, I think when you do date, even like your late 20s or your 30s or whatever, more likely than not, you're going to be dating someone with a child. That's just like the way, like that's just how it is. And I don't think that a single father is any less desirable than a man without children. And I don't think a single mother is any less desirable than a woman without children. I don't consider it baggage. I just consider it, I'm dating a guy with a child. Or I'm dating a woman with a child, you know? So I think, and especially now with the world, you're more likely to have a blended family than not have a blended family. So I would like to see them get back together. I don't think her and Nathan are going to make it. I agree. I don't think that when she said, that's what I love about you or whatever she said, I don't think she really meant I'm in love with you. But I think it was more telling his reaction to it more than anything else. He wasn't like, oh, well, you know, like, I love it when you snuggle me or something like that. Or like, it was, you know what I mean? Like, it was more his hesitance to it. It was more of his response that was more telling than anything else. Because I agree, she was awkward. She kind of stumbled it out. But it was the way he reacted to it that I think was more telling that they're not on the same page.
They're just friends.
Yeah.
That's what I see them as.
They're friends.
They're friends that I think want to hook up at times and then just keep it moving. And I think that's how they should have left it.
I agree.
But with Issa and Molly, I did like their friendship and how Issa was there for Molly with everything that she was going through. Mm-hmm. I'm a big supporter of that. And they switched clothes. I just thought that was funny that they switched clothes because I was thinking, what the hell does Molly have on at this hospital? But
hey, when you get the call, you gotta go.
yes, I thought that was so sweet. So some of the more serious things is they never finished. Molly's father never finished planning the estate, or her parents didn't do that, so that's a little serious. Also, the mother's diagnosis, it's possible paralysis. So all of that was sad, and it sounds like the mother is not going to be well after a while. So that part was sad. Some of the funny parts are them losing the dog. Like I thought
Yeah, that's cute.
Flavor Flav.
Blame it on the dog.
I thought it was cute. I thought it was interesting though. Oh, and Cat the Chat said yes, the sisterhood. I thought it was interesting though when Issa's mother called, Wendy Raquel. I love Wendy Raquel.
Oh, I love her. Yes.
Yes, and she asked Nathan, "Are you her boyfriend?" He's like, yeah. So that was like, oh shoot, because I just feel like it's just a setup for disaster. That's just what I thought.
Mhm.
Y'all do not like Nathan. And look, I don't necessarily like Nathan either, but you know, I feel like Issa and Nathan's relationship was better before he ghosted her.
Mhm.
After that happened, it's just something that hasn't been quite right in that relationship.
Because that's extra baggage too. And when I say baggage, it's not that it's negative, but life comes with a lot of things to get over. And so that's something that Issa would have to unpack on her end. And so that, like, I think that with anybody, the situation would be different because now you have to wonder, okay, this is something that bipolar is what he's diagnosed with. That's something that he's going to live with for the rest of his life. He's going to have to manage it. He's going to have to, you just never know when he'll have an outburst, when he'll, oh, I hate that I'm freezing. I'm freezing again.
Yeah, you're
I'm back now.
You're back now.
It's like I'm talking, and then when I see y'all freeze, I'm like, oh, damn. Here we go. But no, it's just something that they're gonna have to live with, or she has to take that into account in a life partner. Do I want to be with someone that has to go through this for the rest of their life? So that, and that's not to say that I dislike him. It's just that is a lot.
It's totally a lot. And you ladies know I told you about a situation, and it sort of clouds my opinion of Nathan, and I try to just keep it on the show with the whole thing, but I am pretty wary about that. Yeah, I'm pretty wary.
I had two things. One, I would like to see the fact that they brought up Nathan being bipolar. I'm a big component of. I'm a fan of that. I think it's great that they're talking about mental health, particularly when it comes to Black men, Black women, Black people, sort of normalizing mental health awareness, because all people suffer from it, and we shouldn't be ashamed, and it shouldn't be a stigma. But I would like to see them either really dive into it, because they can't just right now it's kind of like a blip. It's like, oh, I was diagnosed with bipolar, that's why I ghosted you. Oh, my cousin wanted me out of the house because I was being erratic, but he doesn't know I'm bipolar, but I'm in such a good place now, and I wish people could just see me for who I am now. But I want to see the behind the scenes journey of that. Like, it's like, what is he on medication? Is he going to a therapist? Like, what does that look like? Like, how is he managing being bipolar? Because it's one thing to say it, but it's another thing to create a narrative around what does that mean to have a mental illness. So I would like to see that. I would like to see him kind of, what does it look like when you're bipolar? Are you manic? Are you, like, I don't know. So like, I want to see them dive into that a little bit more. And then also, like, if they are going to be in a relationship and she's choosing to date someone that she knows suffers from a mental illness, maybe that means they go to therapy together, so that the therapist can say, this is what bipolar disorder is. This is how we manage it. These are the signs and the symptoms. These are the red flags. Like, I want, like, what does that solution look like? if you happen to love someone who has a mental illness? You know, what does that really look like? So I'm happy that they're bringing it up on the show, but I want them to dive a little bit deeper into it. So people who are suffering from it, or if you love someone who's suffering from it, you can at least see that reflected back, and maybe seek help if you don't have it. I don't know. And then the other thing I was thinking, did Molly ever tell the family how serious the mother's situation was? Or did they just kind of leave it with her with that sort of like quizzical look on her face when the family was like, so what did the doctor say? Right? She didn't actually, we don't know what she actually said to them, right?
Yeah, we don't know as of yet. Yeah.
But I think what they were doing with that, and I thought it was actually really, really, really brilliant writing, was that really shows you like how you inherit like tendencies and patterns. I don't want to call it a generational curse. I don't think it's a generational curse. I think that's too heavy. But you definitely inherit patterns from your parents, right? Because in like the 2 scenes before that, when she's having the conversation with her father, and she's like, "What do you mean mom had a stroke?" "No, she didn't. She didn't tell us." And he's like, "Well, she did, but we didn't want to tell you because we wanted to like protect you from it, so we kept it to ourselves." So there's like a secret, right? There's like a family secret that's going on, because they think, well, if I don't say it, it can't hurt you. But obviously we know that's really unhealthy, and like secrets keep you sick and all that stuff, right? And Molly's all pissed off, and she's all like, "You should have told me. I needed to know, blah, 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 blah," right? Then 2 scenes later, Molly is put in the same exact position as her mother, where she receives bad news from the doctor, and then the family comes in with their like beautiful faces, and they're all like hopeful, and they're like, "What does the doctor say?" And then it's very clear that she's conflicted. She's like, do I actually tell them how sick mom is, or do I not tell them how sick mom is because I want to protect them from the truth? Which is exactly what her mother did, right? Because we all become our mothers. So I thought that was brilliant writing, and I thought that really showed how you inherit patterns from your parents. Like usually the things that you complain about the most in your parents are the things that you end up repeating. I know that's true for me. The things I complained about the most with my mom, and then I turn around and I'm exactly like her. So I thought that was a really beautiful piece of writing, where you could see her mirroring her mother and having that internal conflict of, do I tell them the truth or do I not tell them the truth? So I thought that was cool.
I hope she does. I
hope so too.
I think she's going to, though, because like I said, I think she's grown, and that's to keep something like that from your family is just crazy.
Yeah, I think she'll tell. Besides, if her mom actually is possibility of being paralyzed, it's not like it's something she can keep a secret.
Exactly. So yeah, it's definitely a pretty serious episode. What do you guys think of what's to come based off of the previews?
I don't know.
I didn't see the previews either, but if I were to guess, I see Molly's mother passing away. I see Issa having to make the choice between Lawrence and Nathan. I see
Daniel.
Not Daniel. I see. I don't know. I also see Molly. Molly is gonna have some sort of impasse in her life as well, whether it's with a job, whether it's with a man, whether it's with something. But I think Molly's gonna come to an impasse where she either shows up fully as her evolved self, or she reverts back to old Molly. Because I think Molly, yes, she's growing and we see her growth, but I think that there's gonna come a point where her character has to really make a definitive switch.
Yeah, so in one of the scenes, Nathan gets into it with barber, I guess, at his shop, and the barber is like, "I'm tired of your bipolar ass."
No.
So it looks like he's gonna flip, and I hate to say that, but I mean, not saying he's gonna fight him, but it looks like that'll send him down a path of, here we go again. He might go
spiral.
because of what that guy said. It's that Issa gets confronted by some of Crenshaw's fans on the next.
Forgot about Crenshaw.
And she goes and meets up with Crenshaw, and it looks like they're gonna have a talk. So that's what I remember from it. I can't remember the other parts, but those were the two parts that were funny to me. Well, not the bipolar part, but the Crenshaw part. Like, here we go again.
Well, I think the bipolar part may give you guys what you wanted when you wanted to delve a little deeper into Nathan and his, not necessarily his backstory, but just his story, his behind the scenes story.
Yeah.
So that scene may give us what we want. The Crenshaw, I can't figure out why she would go meet this man, honestly.
Well, she ran into his fans and they were like, aren't you from the block or whatever? And she was like, yeah, so you guys saw the show? They were like, yeah, you're a museum show. And she was like, yeah, that was me. And then they put their heads down, and then it cuts to another scene where she's talking to Crenshaw. And so the way that they received her was kind of negative. And so I think she wanted to clear the air with him. And he's like, clear the air?
This is like that whole Twitter thing again, where he was slamming her on, I assume, Twitter. And she responded like, why? Just let him slam you on Twitter. I mean, if you are a corporation or trying to be a corporation, you're gonna get slammed. Let it happen. Release a PR statement, but don't text the man and then he screenshot it and put it up on Twitter too. This is the similar situation. Why are you going to meet him? You have no business with him anymore. Why do you care? Honestly.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about the Crenshaw and Issa situations the other day, and it made me just think, what I hate that, and I'm just talking about the show, like the Twitter people and the fans and stuff, that why is it that Black people and Black businesses are discredited? Like, they're not supposed to actually run their business as an actual business. Like, oh, if it was a Black company doing it, then he could have done whatever he wanted. No, if it was a Black company running it, he would have had to do what the guidelines of that company was. So, you know what I mean? It's like, how come people think that if it's a Black person doing it, then rules don't apply? And then if it's a white person doing it and you follow the rules, somehow you're a sellout. No, it's just the business of it, right? It's like, oh, well, if you didn't go to, like, you know, if it wasn't like a white company and blah, 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 then he could have had all his creative license. Well, no. He still would have had to do what their notes and their feedback were if you're running a company as a company. So I was thinking about that, and it's almost like the response she goes, people putting their heads down. It's like, she did her job. She did her job well. Why are they giving her so much grief for that? You know, it's just like, to me, it that discredits Black entrepreneurs, Black corporations, Black companies, as if we run our stuff willy-nilly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it shows just the lack of respect.
Exactly.
Black
you know what? That reminds me of when you say that, Candy. I think we've all seen where you go into a Black store or a restaurant or anything, and everybody always wants the freaking hookup, but you never go into the white man's store asking for the freaking hookup. Yeah.
Oh, why is this so expensive? Can I get a discount? Or it's not as high quality, right? Why is it if something is Black owned, Black produced, Black funded, or whatever, minority, whatever you want to call it, all of a sudden you think it's not worth as much? Or it's not as professional, or it's not as quality, right? But you go into these other establishments and you have no problem paying what they're paying. You're not trying to haggle. You have no problem with the alleged quality of what they're doing. And you have no problem with that corporation having rules, regulations, notes, and feedback. But when it comes to us doing something, all of a sudden it's all willy-nilly and there isn't any structure and blah, 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 blah. There's the lack of respect. That's what I was saying before. Where it was like, it's not so much about Black or white. It's about the green. Whoever has the money to fund this, then they also have the position to give notes and feedback. Like for example, say I do a social media campaign with a brand, that brand will have notes, that brand will have guidelines, because the brand is my client. They're the ones who are paying me. I don't think I'm selling out to a brand. I think I'm doing a professional partnership. So if they're paying me for something, then why would I not be able to take feedback, edits, and notes?
And shout out to your brand. You're wearing your shirt.
The Love Collection. And I'm drinking out of my Love mug.
Yes, and I cannot wait for my candle.
Yay! I'm excited. Let me know when it arrives and if you like it.
Yes. I will. I'm going to do a commercial.
Yes!
I know.
I'm joking.
You said it. Oh, look at this lovely candle. Everyone should have one.
I know. I'm gonna buy 10.
But no, that's something that I used to do when I started this channel. I used to like featuring Black entrepreneurs and businesses in the beginning, but I didn't get a lot that reached out to me, and I still have one. This is I ordered her product, Malkia Lux. She has body butter and body scrub, and it's really good. It smells good, and look, it's like a sugar scrub. So I just happen to have that. But make sure you check out. She's actually a friend of mine, but it's called, I'm gonna put it in the description, Malkia Lux. But she has beauty products, lip gloss, and all of that. But that was something that I used to want to do, since this channel was supposed to be about Black women. But I didn't have a lot of Black women entrepreneurs reach out to me to let me, because I'll purchase products. But
well, if you want to be connected, I have two that I thought of off the top of my head. One is Rahama Wright. She does shea Yellen, and it's a vegan shea butter brand. They do like lip stuff, hair care, body care, and it's all made by women in Ghana. And what she does is she sets them up as their own like mini corporations, mini brands in Ghana. So it's all made in Ghana, and then those women get I think the way she does it, they actually get like 4 times the living wage there. So they're able to make a really nice, like livable income. Then they're able to start their own side businesses. Just so you know, I interviewed her. It's dropping next week. She's fantastic. She has her stuff in Whole Foods. She has it in the MGM studio, all this stuff. She's great. She's, I believe she's from Ghana, but now she lives in DC. I can connect you with her. And then there was also what was it called? The 3 other sisters that I connected with. I showed Khadi.
Yeah, you said
Khadi B. They also, I think they also do. I want to say like Shay or something like that. But there's these 3 sisters from Ghana as well, and they had all that stuff. So I connect you with them.
Yes, please do.
Yeah.
You
know,
and they'll send you to some fun product to review and all that great stuff. And it's good stuff. It's really good stuff.
Yes, hook it up. So this was the episode. It wasn't a lot to talk about. So I agree with both of you. With Khadi, I do feel like it was a filler episode. Candy,
establishing episode.
It did set the tone, and it had a lot of foreshadowing of what was to come, and it explained a lot of why we had to hear about the estate planning and all that in the earlier scenes or episodes, because I was wondering, like, why are we hearing about their estate planning? Like, they've never been a focal point of this show like that. So that was
that's true.
But yeah, so I guess
it would be a good plot twist. Writers, if you're listening, you probably already shot this, but it would be a good plot twist if actually Molly's father passed. No. And then the mom was still there, but she had all this stuff going on. And then they didn't do the estate planning. That to me would be drama conflict.
I don't want to. The show's about Issa. And
but Molly's my favorite. But I feel like Molly's the breakout star. Like, I feel like the show is really about Molly.
No, the show's about Issa. I love Issa.
Okay.
I wanted to do some open chat. I know y'all thought I was about to end it. I'm not ending this live yet.
Go for it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you could have let me know if you slice me a piece of brownie, but
go get your brownie. Let me. I want to update this title. I think it was too long. I was trying to update it while y'all were talking, but it said it was too long. But y'all know I did an after dark yesterday, and I talked a little bit about the YouTube streets and what was going on with that. Which it is a very unfortunate situation with what's going on. It's been crazy. Let me see if this will let me save it. It says, please limit the title to 100 characters.
Yeah.
I hate that error message. Yeah.
So I'm going to just leave it. But this is also an open chat then, I guess. So, yeah, it's been a lot going on for myself, and looking at a lot of what's going on. I just want peace for myself. So I definitely want to continue to do my lives. If you rock with me, you rock with me. If you don't, that's okay. YouTube is very big. It has millions of people. And so I know I can reach. There's someone I can reach. So, yeah. But Portia, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say, yes, keep rocking and rolling. Like, keep doing what you're doing. Like, to me, I'm kind of like, and like, girl, keep popping and pushing and glowing and doing you. Like,
growing and glowing. That's my favorite.
Keep growing and glowing. Like, these people, I don't know, but I'm just, in general, these fictional characters just they're not worth it.
Well,
like,
I was gonna say, Candy, and you're about definitely self-care, self-preservation, and all of that. So how do you deal with some of this? And this is good. I like this.
Yeah.
This open chat. Might get me a glass of wine, even though I don't need it. But how do you deal with all of this that's going on in YouTube? Especially with your channel, I think you have the largest platform out of all three of us. And so I'm sure a lot of that at times has been drama. So how have you dealt with that?
I would say the best way I've dealt with it is I've really been able to sort of just mind my own business and keep it and not get caught up too much. Like, the only time I ever react or do something is if someone is directly calling my integrity into question, then I'll correct it. But I don't take it personal. Like, I'm not going to let it deter me. And then also, I don't watch those channels. Like, I don't, like, half of the time when people are talking about YouTube beefs and they're saying all of these names and avatars and code words, I'm like, who are these people? I don't know who these people are. So I just really stay focused, of eyes on my own paper. Who are the people that love and support me? Who are the people that I love and support? Those are the people that I'm going to pour into, because they pour back into me. Anything else is just noise. And I also really make sure to know what my goals are when it comes to YouTube. My goal is to create community, not drama. My goal is to make money, because I am a content creator and that's my full-time job. So I do believe in monetizing. I think that I provide a value, and I don't think there's anything wrong with making money off of value that you add or a service that you do. That's capitalism. That's the world that we live in. And I also want to be fulfilled. So those are my three things that I focus on. Am I creating a community that I actually want to be in, that pours into me and that I pour into? Am I doing something that actually feeds back into my livelihood? Whether it's through merchandise and branding, or if it's through memberships because I'm adding additional value, whether it's through super stats, whether it's through Google ads. So I look at it from both ways. I'm creating content that's meaningful, but I also want to be able to monetize that. Is being in a YouTube beef in the long run going to help me achieve those three things? No. You might get a flash in the pan right now, but that's not going to always be there forever. You quickly put your channel on the radar for getting stricken down, for getting taken down. You're not going to put yourself in a position to work with bigger brands or bigger people, right? Because nobody really wants to mess with that. You even look at the bigger people, right? You look at bigger YouTube people, they're not really getting their hands dirty. They're letting the other channels do it on their behalf, but they're keeping their hands clean. And they're the ones with the 100K, 200K, 300K. They're minding their own business. Sure, they'll let us do it. They'll let the little other people do it. So that's and then I separate it. I don't take this personally, because what somebody says about me on YouTube is not a reflection of who I am as a person. It is not my reflection of my integrity, my intelligence, my value, my worth. None of that.
Mm-hmm.
So why would I pay any attention to it? To a photo behind a keyboard? Who cares? And then I also, one big thing for me is like I wanted to be more consistent with my content. Mm-hmm. So sure, I'll do like commentary on like reality TV shows and Bravo, but I also wanted to think, what niche can I get in? And to me, that's like self-care and wellness. So like every day at 9 a.m., you're getting a new, I call them my sugar pills, my sugar pills, like self-care sessions, anywhere from like 5 to 20 minutes, just doing that consistently. And then that adds value beyond, and it's also evergreen. So you also want to think about evergreen content, right? So my self-care sessions might get fewer views in the first day or the second day than if I do like a Palin's baby, not like that way, but you know what I mean? If I like whatever, I only said that because that was what we were talking about, but you know what I mean? But it's evergreen content, right? So 2 months from now, that video will probably have more value. Mm-hmm. 6 months from now, that video will have more value. A year from now, that video will have more value, because a year from now, you're going to have people searching for how to create healthy boundaries, how to deal with anger, how to have inner peace, how to deal with jealousy, how to take care of yourself. You're always going to have people who are interested in becoming a better version of themselves. But the pop culture, the beef, it's trendy.
Right.
Yeah. That's because of the sector that is tied to the that Monica All About the Tea. It's because of that. I've talked to you ladies about something that I want to do. I'm not going to say it here. It's not about moving in silence, but I really want to. I know.
No, move in silence, sweetheart.
Yes,
no.
It is.
Move in silence.
Nobody stealing ideas, stealing things, stealing.
So I am working on something that is an interest of mine. A big interest, and I cannot wait to put it out there. I hope it's received well. It probably is not related to the current sector that we're in, or that is tied to that All About the Tea sector, but I just hope that it's well received. So yeah, I can't wait. It's definitely a project I'm gonna be working on, and it's something that as a little girl my mother thought I would go into with that. So but I love talking with Khadi and Candy about it. What were
I was gonna say that I think you should. Oh, go ahead, Khadi, and then I'll go. Go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say I talked to you ladies about the shift for my channel. Like, I'm still gonna review the reality shows or whatever, but I also want to sort of pivot over into this direction. And exactly what Candy was saying, I told my husband like maybe 2 weeks ago or something, like the reality stuff, the trending topics, the current news is relevant now, but you're not going to be having somebody searching for this a month, 2 months, 3 months. Like you said, Fallon's baby, trendy now. 3 years from now, nobody's going to be like, so that Fallon chick had a baby? She 3. Like, yeah. So we have to, well, I'm not going to say have to, because you can totally make it in the reality review section and everything like that. But I also want to do things that people can search for from now, from 10 years, from whatever, and still get value from it. So,
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. No, I was just saying. So, yeah, I'm going to do that. And then I also talked briefly about, I think I told Candace, I don't think you were in the
chat.
call. Yeah, at the time, Candy. But I wanted to also talk very briefly about some financial type things for our people.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love that. And I was gonna say two things. The one to what Candace was saying, I think it's smart, and also to Khadi too. And I think it's smart to find a different niche than the like all about the tea, the beef, pop culture stuff, because then you're able to also attract a different audience.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was saying. Like, I might get fewer views on this now, but if I'm consistent and I'm providing value, that will grow, and then you'll create and cultivate a totally different audience that you're not getting into, that's not attracted to beef and drama. That's actually attracted to the quality of your content. They're attracted to you and what you're doing. So it might be a slow start, but again, if you're consistent and you continue, you will build, and you will get bigger, and you will get bigger, and you get bigger. Just don't get deterred, you know? And then you will attract that audience for what you want to do, Candace, and for what you want to do, Khadi, and for what I want to do. Then you will attract the right audience. You're not going to get those trolls, and you're not going to get those haters, right? Because you're attracting a different audience who want to buy into you, your story, and the quality of your content. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing was, what was the other thing I wanted to say? So there was that. Oh, also lifestyle, right? So to me, I also prioritize a lifestyle that I want to have. If I wanted to be a pop culture reality TV commentator, you have to be on almost every day. Mm-hmm. If you look at the big people, they are on every day. They are live. They are getting scoops. They're having sources. You know, they are breaking news. They're live every day. Like, they are alive. They are going live every day. That's how they're getting
a life. Because I have a husband to take care of.
That's what I'm talking about. Lifestyle, right? So that's how they're getting that such a big following, because they're going live every day throughout the day, multiple times a day. Mm-hmm. That is not the lifestyle I want for myself. Mm-hmm. I want to be able to create the content, schedule it out, know that it's evergreen, and then let that build up. And then I can have days to myself. Like, I don't want to be streaming online a couple of times a day. That's just not the lifestyle I want. Right. I want to be able to work maybe 1 or 2 days a week, but still have that passive income, have what's going on. And then the rest of the week I'm chilling. You know, like, I don't want to, that's not the lifestyle I want, but some people thrive on that. You know, like, think about like a Wendy Williams, or like, cause I don't want to say any YouTubers' names, but think about, you know, people like that. They thrive, you know, they thrive on being on every day and like getting the scoops and all that stuff. And that's great if that's what feeds you. But I'm introverted. I don't want to have to be on every single day in order to be relevant to my audience base. Mm-hmm. And so to me, I also think about what type of lifestyle do I want to create for myself. And the type of lifestyle I want to create, I work a couple of days a week, and then the rest of the week I get to coast and chill. If you guys haven't read it or listened to it, 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss, very powerful book. Very, very powerful book. I just listened to the audio version of it, and that's kind of how I'm now building my brand and my company and everything that I'm doing around that 4-Hour Workweek plan, where you can create the content and you can create the product, you automate it, you put it into place, and then you have the rest of your life to enjoy, because I don't want to work every day.
No,
I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think I was born to work, pay bills, and die. I was born to enjoy this life. And that's what I think about too. What type of lifestyle do you want?
I want to go visit Candy.
Come.
Yes.
Everybody come.
Totally gonna try though. Like maybe February-ish.
Okay, you can be my Valentine.
I was gonna say, I know Candace was thinking January-ish.
But February is what works for you.
I was just throwing out. I don't. I was just throwing out.
We're not in 2 weeks. No,
Well,
No.
let me know.
No.
I'm joking.
If you trying to drag me out there, okay, I'm at the personal trainer, you guys. Okay, give me some time a little bit.
I need a personal trainer. My face is so.
I need a personal trainer too. But no, it felt good to go to brunch today and kind of like step away.
Right, have a life.
Exactly.
Have a life.
Yes,
You have to think about that.
Outside of my kids and my hubby, it was. I had a great time. So.
In these YouTube streets.
Oh yeah.
I do not be paying attention. I tell you all the time, and I don't know if I'm funny or not but I don't watch trash channels. Like, I just don't.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if anybody's offended. Well, I'm not actually sorry if you're offended. If you're offended, you're probably a trash channel. Do something.
Guys, I'll be right back.
Okay.
I've had too much water.
Oh goodness.
No. Hey, where's the avatar? It's just a white screen.
I know, but no, it felt good to go to brunch. It felt good to take my mind off of just YouTube and all of that, which YouTube, I don't let it get to me as much because I have so much going on, but it's great to go out and basically to decompress and
Yes. That's what I'm saying. And as y'all know, I took a I wouldn't say a huge hiatus, but I took a hiatus because between all the doggone shows I was reviewing and then trying to keep up on the breaking news of all this stuff, I just was like over it. It's not what I want to do. And then I want to spend the day with my man or somebody else. It don't even matter who it is. Somebody in the family, a friend, a family member. I just want to have a life. So I was just like, yeah, I'm over it. So unplugging. Yes,
which is cool. But I did want to talk about Portia in the whole Fallon, what is her name now? Fallon Pena, Simon Gubadia. So we now see, and I wish my friend Hannah was watching because she just believed Fallon so much. She thought Simon was lying on Fallon about cheating and all this other stuff. But this baby was
both of them liars.
Yeah, this baby was born, and the timeline matches up with what Simon was saying versus what Fallon was trying to say. Because Fallon was trying to act like she just got pregnant.
Yeah. I briefly did a live about this where I'm not convinced Jalen is that baby pappy.
You're not the only one that has said that. A lot of people are assuming, my hair is all over the place because I did it earlier. A lot of people are assuming that the basketball player that Simon mentioned she was dating is the baby's.
Well, she mentioned when she did that interview with the other YouTuber, she mentioned that she was briefly dating she said a celebrity. I think she said a celebrity. I don't think she went into what type. But she wouldn't say who it was or anything about this person, but her whole entire face lit up when talking about a man you ain't with no more. My face don't light up for no man I ain't with no more. I wish my face would light up for my ex.
Hello.
Yeah,
light up if I had a plan on the.
And so she had a girl. Is that what she had?
A girl.
Yeah.
Emma something Pina. Shoot, I just did the live on it.
Okay, cool.
Emma sang or something.
Yeah. And I was just like, why if this, I don't understand. And this baby is Jalen's.
Not his baby.
Oh, of course not. But if this baby is Jalen's, why this baby got her last name? And then, do you know people in my comment section was saying Jalen had changed his last name to Fallon's last name?
What?
Which I was like, what kind of weak? Look, let me not.
I think those people don't know what they're talking about.
I was like, what? First of all, if that's true, wow, what a sad excuse for a man.
Yep, and I agree with Kevin.
Like that is so embarrassing.
Yeah,
Fallon was definitely pregnant that whole time.
Yep, I knew it.
Her and Simon were in on this. They hatched this scheme, but then the scheme got bigger than what they thought it was.
Sip with D said Jalen changed his last name to Pena. He? I think. Are you asking us? I hope you're being sarcastic.
I haven't found that. I don't know
think so.
where people are getting this. I haven't seen it.
Or that's another one of their lies to cover up this scheme.
Why would a grown man be proud that he didn't change his last name to a woman's? Wow.
And they're not even married, so calling BS. Man. They're not even married.
Yeah, it is.
But I feel like that's just a cover anyway to try and say, oh, but the baby is mine because now I have Fallon's last name. That's why the baby has Fallon's last name. Miss me with that.
Yeah. She said they did a video about it. It's true. OMG. That is crazy, Kevin.
He did.
I think they're lying.
He's a sad excuse for a man. And I stand by that.
See, this is the thing. I think that they are lying about, but you have to remember, people lie. So just because they did a YouTube video about it doesn't mean that it's the truth. It just means that they're lying. So I think they're lying, and I think this is their convenient lie to explain why the baby has her last name and not his, because they're not even legally married yet. So you're telling me he legally changed his last name to her last name, but they didn't think to just get married? BS. So I think they're lying.
The newspaper, because when you change your name outside of marriage, you have to run it in the newspaper before your name can be changed. So show me the newspaper where it got ran that he was changing his name.
I never heard of that.
Me either.
It's still old school in the mud because most people don't.
Is this eyebrow really low?
It's still the truth.
Sip with D said they both legally changed her name to Pena because it wasn't her legal last name either. Oh, because hers would be Gubadia.
But she can take her maiden name back. That's her name.
Yeah, but that is so strange. And hey, Marva, good to see you.
Hey, Marva.
Yeah, they're just lying. They're not knocking boots. They're not smashing. That's not his baby. His last name is not
I really thought that was her gay best friend. I will say.
I don't know if he's gay or not, but I know he ain't smashing that.
And hey, Queen of Cheesecake, it's okay.
Hi, Queen of Cheesecake.
Sorry, I missed a live. Let me go back because I think I have a picture.
That is not something to brag about. I'm a grown man and I just changed my name to a woman's.
I think that's the only picture I have of him. Shoot, I deleted all the other ones. But I had another one where he was in the mirror doing a selfie.
Yeah.
So.
And Jalen's mom came on Kimpires that time, trying to defend her son.
Sip with D said no, it wasn't her maiden name either. It came from her granddad, but nothing hers legally. She just went by it, but not hers legally. Interesting. Fallon is something else. Like
the truth.
When you hear, I can believe that because first of all, I was shocked by all of the children she had, and then the different fathers, and then how they had money. Like this girl, it's a dang rabbit hole with her past. Like with Simon too. So they both. This was a scheme brought by Todd.
This was a scheme brought by Todd. This was a scheme brought by Todd.
Thanks,
Hi.
But yeah, like I told you, ladies, I think that Fallon is like basically Portia. She married Simon for that cash, and when he tossed her to the side, she got with that ball player, and she using Jalen as a cover-up.
And she found out he was a fraud. Because I think Portia probably knows now this man doesn't have any cash either.
Now
So I think that's why Fallon was ready to get with the baller. And then with Simon, doesn't he have wives like every 2 years or something like that?
He like rotates the wives.
Oh, so
because he has a couple baby mamas too.
Oh goodness. Marva said he's 23, she's 32. Oh my goodness. I can't believe he's so young. He is a baby. And hey, Evangelist.
Hey, Val.
Last night.
I think Fallon is exploiting him. Like, I think that he thought, oh, I'm going to do my friend a favor. But then he got in over his head. Jalen. Because I don't watch her YouTube channel, but little snippets I saw, he just looks sort of like, okay, like what? Like, I just think that she's sort of exploiting him now. Because I think he's the beard for the fact that the baby is that married athlete's child. And that married athlete is the one who is subsidizing their life. Like she said on Tisa Tells, she didn't have enough money or credit to even get an apartment herself.
Wow.
And her
But
alleged
she live in the same community as Portia and Nene.
now, right? I think he's subsidizing it to keep her quiet. And then also, I also side eye all of her baby's daddies, because if you know that your child and the mother of your child is homeless, which is essentially what she was going to be, and none of them stepped up to take care of their own child, I don't care if you don't mess with her. What about your children?
Yep.
To the point where I don't like Simon, but at least Simon, and again, this is another reason why I think they're in cahoots. At least Simon stepped up and got her an apartment so she had some type of housing, because they had to get out of that rent house, that rent mansion that they were in. They had to get out of that.
And I agree with Sip with D. I definitely think Portia has a plan for Simon's exit.
I agree.
Oh yeah.
Portia is always following that money, and so now that she know the money ain't there, she's not going to be there.
I wouldn't be shocked if
She never should have left Dish Nation or Roa.
Yes.
But did they make her leave Roa? Like make her take a paw?
No.
I don't think so. Hey, Snooki, it's good to
No,
see
and they said she welcome to come back. So if she want to come back in the next season, not this one, she can.
Evangelist said, Khadi is my baby mom. Candy Shop, we had so much fun last night. Love you guys. Oh, love you too. Sit with D, right? Because she said on Tisa Tells that Simon paid up the rent for her new spot for the year. And
Yep.
Wow,
Was that Rena mansion money?
So that's the man. So she's in it right now. The one that he's paying, that he rented out.
No. Okay, so Simon and Fallon were living in like a modest home. It was nice but modest, right? Right before they started filming Roa. The producers were like, we need you to have a more opulent lifestyle. We want to see decadence. So then Simon bought that big mansion that you see them film in, right? But he bought that only for when they first started filming. And then the moment Fallon's contract did not get removed, he had to sell it, which means he never actually had enough money to truly buy it and own it in the first place. It wasn't like he was flipping it for a profit, none of that. And so I think it went into either escrow with somebody else or whatever the contract was. They gave them either 30 days or 2 weeks to get out, some like contingency, you need to be out by X amount of days. And so at that point, Fallon had nowhere to go. And that's when Simon stepped in and got her an apartment, because she said she didn't have enough money and she didn't have enough credit because her credit was bad. So then Simon stepped in, got her an apartment, and he paid it out for the year. But during that course of time, I guess this married NFL player or whatever athlete stepped in and got her out of that and then put her up in this place because, as we now know, since she had that baby, she was pregnant. So I think that if she hadn't gotten knocked up, I doubt she would be in this new spot.
Well, damn.
But I think that because she got knocked up, he has a reputation to uphold. He has a wife. He has actual things to lose. He's probably subsidizing her lifestyle to keep her quiet.
Yes, you just broke it all the way down, which explains why the little boy is her
exactly, and that's why that's why I'm saying she's exploiting Jalen. I think Jalen was like, "Oh, this is my friend. She's in a bind to save face. Sure, I'll say it." But then now it's sort of because when you tell one lie, you have to tell another lie. You have to tell another lie. You have to tell another lie. And now they're lying about being the Pinas or the Penas, whatever the hell it is. That's he did not change his last name. That's a that's a lie. That's not his baby. That's a lie. They're not smashing. That's a lie. It's all lies. Sorry.
You said, "Woo, she seems problematic." Yeah, it's a lot of and I'm sorry,
garnered a lot of sympathy,
a lot of baggage with these kids and all of that. And then it's just too much. I unsubscribed from her YouTube channel because it just seemed like a fraud.
It is a fraud.
I never subscribed to it. Y'all know what I feel about trash channels.
Yes, and that is awful, Snooki. Like, it's a hot mess. That's why, like, even with Portia's show, and I like Portia, but that looks like that's about to be a hot mess too. And I'm not watching it. Like,
I will watch it because it's drama filled, and I will review it.
Looks like a Zeus reject. WeTV,
should have been
Zeus, VH1 even passed on it. Bravo is going down as a network. But Khadi, I watched your review today of Fallon's baby, and I think and I read what you said that Jalen said. Did you notice he never once said anything about this being my child or my daughter? The only thing he said was Fallon did such a good job. And to me, that was extremely telling, because I don't care who you are. If you are a father or a mother, when you're talking about the birth of your child, you're like, I'm so father. And a first-time father, you're like, I'm so excited to bring my child. My son is here. My daughter is here. My child is beautiful. My child is healthy. He was very detached. Fallon did such a good job. The baby is healthy. Not my daughter. Not our child.
So is she trying to get back on Housewives of Atlanta? Like, what is the point of all of this?
I think this is another thing. People, and this is production's fault. There are people who are good at reality TV, and there are people who are good at being social media influencers, and you have a sweet spot of people who are good at both. For example, what was her name? Latoya?
Yeah.
She's great. Yeah, she is great as a YouTube star. She's great as a social media person. She was horrible as a reality star, and that's why she wasn't being brought back. Unless she wanted to be on Love and Hip Hop. Not even that. She couldn't even. She's just flat. She's flat, right? You know, there are people who can't do both, and I think Fallon is that. I think Fallon will do great as Instagram model. This little fake YouTube series she's doing with Jalen. I hope. She said she had a skincare line. I haven't seen it, but I would love to see it. Things like that. Like, I think Fallon, that's her, because I don't think her personality really carries.
No, it doesn't.
She's very pretty to look
boring.
I agree.
The most exciting moment was running through the house.
Exactly. Yes, and I think production and casting kind of, they need to realize the value of the talent. Is this a reality star talent, or is this a social media influencer talent? You know what I mean? Like, that's why you have different buckets of you don't even think she's that. I mean, she's that now because of the show. Like, when it comes to that triangle of Simon, Portia, and Fallon, the only person who had something to lose was Portia. The only person who has lost is Portia. We're all talking about Simon. We didn't know who the hell he was. And we're all talking about Fallon. We didn't know who she was. But now she's actually in a position to get Brandel skincare lines, YouTube series that are being highly produced or whatever. Now we're actually talking about her. We didn't know who the hell Fallon or Simon was. They were the only two people that had something to gain, and they're the only ones who've gained. Portia had everything to lose. Portia had her little money. She had Dish Nation. She had Roa. She had this little Dennis baby mama drama going on, all of that stuff. Now no longer has Dennis, no longer has Roa, no longer has her little Black American princess reputation, because a lot of people don't want to mess with her anymore. No longer has Dish Nation, and she's out here looking like a clown. She was the only person who had something to lose, and she's the only one who has lost. And she has nobody to blame but herself, because she should not have tried to go after that man, knowing he was married. I don't care if it's your coworker. You knew this woman. You were all up in her face, and you were with that man for way longer than a month.
Exactly.
Go to Tisa Tell. She has a whole timeline.
I watched.
Together,
in September. So.
And this is I don't think Simon's clean. I don't think Fallon's clean. I think they're both dirty. But Portia is also dirty. Two wrongs don't make a right. No one is vindicated. But Portia, I look at you a little bit more squinty-eyed, because you actually, to me, it was her attitude. It was like she was getting pleasure in being the chosen one of this man over his wife. It was that nasty attitude, oh yeah, he's mine now. When you knew this man was married, and you knew she had kids and he had kids. That's why I Simon is doing Simon, Fallon's doing Fallon. They're scammers. Scam. Not surprised. Portia got conned.
Yeah.
And that little book deal in 2021, book deals are not what they used to be, girl. You should have went with an audiobook or a podcast.
Well, that's how she came out. What did y'all think about the stuff she dropped about R. Kelly, and that she was messing around with him
I didn't actually listen to it. I've heard y'all talk about it yesterday, I guess, or whatever. But nah, I didn't follow. I didn't care enough to follow.
I didn't. I didn't. Well, I believe her now. At first, I didn't believe her, so I didn't actually hear it all. But then, as more details started coming out, I was like, "Oh, this is interesting." It just made it seem like this was a video vixen or video girl that just really she's been an opportunist from the beginning.
Right.
And no disrespect to her mama, but I think she gets it from her mama, and I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Probably. I don't deny that Portia saw or heard what she heard or whatever. I think it quite possibly did happen. I also think that I don't care.
I was just surprised.
I don't care about. I think Portia's fun on the show, but her in real life, yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, I still like her, but yeah, with the whole R. Kelly thing, I didn't even know she had any dealings with him. That's why I was just like, okay, and it was like way after, like,
yeah,
I
did come from left field.
I just thought, like, why didn't this come out like when Surviving Him was out? Like, where were you at then, when at a time where these women really would have needed you to say something? So that was my only thing.
I'm sorry, but you heard Mims last night talking about she was on the Underground Railroad.
Yeah. Oh, Snicky said, I thought it was useless information. Me too. That's why I didn't know whether or not to believe it at first. But then it is like a little, they're trying to release stuff. It is a little juicy, but it's like, like I'm still on the fence about whether or not I am intrigued to truly look it up and go into it.
Yeah.
I have a different take on it. I look at it more, I believe every word she said. I think it 100% happened. I think it's true. And I guess my take is more of, I still think that she was taken advantage of. And I think that anytime that there is this power dynamic that is so unbalanced and a woman feels like she has to use her body or do sexual acts or anything like that in order to XYZ, get a job, keep a job, whatever it is, to me, that is sexual exploitation. And a lot of times we cover that up with saying, oh, she's a video vixen hoe. Oh, she slept her way to the top. Oh, she was da-da-da-da. To me, I equate it to when people are like, oh, that girl was young. She was just fast. And it's like, no, she was a child and a man took advantage of that. And I think that a lot of times we victim and slut shame people who have a lot of trauma and who make decisions out of that trauma. And she said that herself. She said she had been through abuse. She had been through trauma. And she said that. She was like, well, I thought this is what I had to do in order to get there. She's like, I thought this is how it was. And I think, and to me, I'm not saying I think the R word it's very multi-layers. There's different types of it. There's different facets of it. But I wouldn't say necessarily it's the R word, but was it coercion? Sure. I do think it was coercion. And I think a lot of times we blame women who were in a position of disadvantage because they did what they thought they had to do.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I put Portia into it and it into that. But I don't put her in the category of some of the other victims. But I still think that she was taken advantage of.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. I don't blame her, but I feel like he took advantage the same way he did with K. Michelle of a woman that was thirsty to get into the industry. They also, being adults though, played a part as well. But in the end, when I'm saying that, where was she when the victims were there? This would have helped because it's showing a pattern of what he does. He kind of grooms people. He kind of reels them in and acts like he's going to do something for them just to take advantage of them. So I do feel like he took advantage of her because we all know she wants to sing and she probably thought she was going to be able to sing and be this big star. Like it seems like he always used Aaliyah as the main person he made a star or something like that. And so she was taken advantage of in that way. But the other victims, which the children for me are different, but this would have helped though, because that Surviving R. Kelly had young women and older women that were all victims of him and the stuff that he did.
No, I hear you, but I think that is the benefit of hindsight being 2020, and that's coming from a healthy perspective, because I think a lot of times these women and even people looking at it don't even understand that they are being victimized. I don't think in Portia's unhealthy, traumatized mind, in that moment, she realized that she was actually a victim. So maybe when this was coming out, again, we're saying, well, Portia isn't in the category of these young girls. So if we're not even accepting of her being in that category, she probably didn't put herself in that category, right?
You said that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So,
but no, I
you know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of times people don't even realize that they're victims. Or that this is coercion. Think about people who are victims of the R word, like the date R word. They're like, well, I went back to his apartment. Well, I had one too many glasses of wine. Well, da, 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 da. That's still R. That's still sexual assault. But a lot of times we rationalize it because it's really hard to conceptualize that I was taken advantage of, I was coerced, I was this, that, or the third. So I think that, yes, Portia is a victim. It might be a different type of victimology, but I do think she was a victim. And I don't think she probably even realized she was a victim. And so to me, I am going to give her grace for not coming forward during that time, because if you don't even realize you're a victim, what was she coming forward for?
So this is my question to that. So a year or two later, after the victims came out with the Surviving, when she's about to be kicked off of Housewives of Atlanta, she writes her book. Now she realizes she's a victim. That's the only.
She didn't, but that's the thing though. She never said she was a victim. She wrote about her life, her memoir in her book, and the feds came to her, and then she told what happened, and now all of us are having our opinion and commentary on it. So what she did was she wrote about, this was my experience with R. Kelly, and now we are commentating on what her experience with R. Kelly was. To me, it would be more of, during the whole Surviving R. Kelly thing, if she then came out then saying I was a victim, then we would be bashing her for being like, well, why are you coming out now? Are you trying to ride the wave of Surviving R. Kelly? I'm not saying you personally. I'm saying like how people are on these streets and commentary, right? The same way they're bashing her now.
I hate that, because it's all about the way she moves. And it's just a little suspect, and it's a little like, I'll be like, a lot of times, like I said, I like Portia and I want to stand beside her with her decisions. But it just seems like she moves so weird with the way that she jumps from these men. Also, the way that she's bringing up her dealings with R. Kelly. It's a lot. But I'm not reading her memoir. I don't know. I'm
not going to read it either. But I think
I'm turned off by her. Like, right. I guess now, since the show and all of her actions in the past year.
No, I agree with you 100%. I'm definitely turned off by her with her actions of the past year. But I think that even when you look at how Portia, her dynamic with men, to me, is a very much a dynamic of a woman who has been through trauma, and a woman who has been abused, and a woman who has had something happen to her.
I can definitely
if you look at her, even how she ended up with Simon, even how she ended up with her first husband, and all these other people.
She's not trying to love anybody. She's just with them for money. So you can tell she thinks, based off of, I can tell something has happened because of the fact that she's not marrying men for love. She doesn't care about these men. It's all about money and taking care of herself and living well. But you've never see Portia in a relationship where it looks like she truly loved the person. When you think about all the relationships that they showed in the show. And so I
think she loves Dennis. But I think Portia moves out of survival mode. And I think when we look at it on the surface, it's easy to say, oh, she's open wide, for men with money, and she's just over the bag. But I think when you kind of look at it from a critical mindset and you think, well, what is actually that objective motivating factor. Oh, I think she wants protection. I think she wants support. I think she's in survival mode. Because I always I think it's always easy just to do the low hanging fruit and being like, oh no, she's just and I'm not by no means defending Portia. I'm just saying overall, when I see a woman who has that pattern of behavior, I think it's very clear something has happened to her. She's gone through something that she hasn't really healed and dealt with. And she might be doing these outside things, but internally, her intentions are something else because she has been hurt and wounded before. So I believe 100% everything she said about R. Kelly. I do think she was a victim, a different type of victim, but still a victim.
Mm-hmm. I want to read what Snooki said. She said, why would I read Portia book? She just realized in her adult years the Underground Railroad wasn't a train track. I did like her, though.
I did like her, though.
Q said, all for the come up to secure the bag. Keeping that bag secure. Hello, Ray Renee. How are you tonight? I think you just said, hey. But yeah, I've just been turned off from her with the whole Dennis thing. I didn't think she loved him because Dennis had money here in Atlanta, even though I went to his hot dog restaurant. It's at the mall by my job, and his hot dogs, they're gross. So I'm sorry, Dennis, your restaurant.
Not they gross.
Damn.
What's wrong with them? They just hot dogs. How can you mess up the hot dogs?
It was cold, and I don't even know if these were supposed to be. You know how most restaurants do beef hot dogs. It just tasted like cardboard. I ordered a Chicago style dog, and it was just nasty. And then they gave me cold sweet potato fries.
Not cold. I need mine hot and crispy.
I door dashed it. So and now
are you sure that the person didn't take too long to bring you the food and it was cold?
No, the mall is literally 5 minutes from my job. He brought it right from the mall. And now I see why because sometimes I go to the mall to get pizza or whatever. Now I see why no one's ever at the hot dog place.
Spilling all the hot dog tea.
Yes. Well, no, Q, he has an actual standalone restaurant, but I think he tried to branch out, and so he put one in the mall as well. But yeah, it's nasty.
Snooki agree with you.
Yeah, she said I went to the one in Atlanta mall. I was high key disappointed. Yeah, it's nasty.
I love that you guys have malls.
The food court makes a lot of money if the mall is
jumping. The mall. I've been in the mall.
I just don't knock the food court. The food court makes a lot of money if the mall is jumping, and the food court is priced higher than standalone.
Yeah, I like Sbarro. I never know how to say it.
Sbarro.
Sbarro's
place. Yes, Sbarro.
I literally get pizza from them once a week. That's probably why I can't drop some of these pounds because I'm getting.
The mall is the only place I can find that spot here. They don't have. Yeah, it's just in the mall here.
Yeah.
Put some of that mint in your water.
Oh no, because mint is only for freshening.
But I will say
brushing your teeth.
Dennis's other club has been successful. Crew that he's branched out with that, so there are other locations for that. So that's taken off. So Hookah Lounge, I like the original location, so that I can tell he needs to stick to that. The food industry is not for him.
Is it weird that I'm hungry now?
We're talking about the hot dog.
I was like, what do I have in my kitchen?
Yes.
Any leftover Thanksgiving food?
So Portia will no longer be on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Is that what
not for this season. But Andy said she can
come back.
He said they wanted to put her on a pause.
What is that supposed to mean?
I don't think Bravo liked the way she moved with. I don't think Bravo liked the way she moved with Simon. I think that really was her big demise. Was the whole Simon thing.
I feel like that's counterproductive. I don't like the way you move with Simon, but I'm going to give you a spinoff to showcase you and Simon.
Well, the spinoff originally was supposed to be about Black Lives Matter.
I know, but I knew that wasn't going to happen because it was going to take too long to do it. Like I told you, it wasn't going to be trendy no more.
Yeah,
So
Younger
I
said,
already knew that wasn't gonna happen.
don't nobody find it funny how Fallon and her fake gay baby daddy suddenly had this baby a day before the Zeus Network presents Portia Family Matters show premiere. They all playing. Yeah.
Young Rich, I agree. I'm telling you, they're all in it. They're all in it.
Agree.
Well, Simon and Fallon, I think, are still moving in conjunction with each other.
It's a mess.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mess. I don't know if I'm gonna watch Housewives.
Rolla?
Atlanta.
Oh, Atlanta, yeah. I don't. It doesn't.
No,
seem like
Portia's show is on Bravo. He was just being funny. He was just calling it Zeus because it's like a ratchet show.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think Atlanta's got anybody or anything besides Kenya, who I don't necessarily like on the show, but I think Kenya would be cool to hang out in person. But I do like her on the girls' trip. Kenya was giving me life on the girls' trip, so
I have to watch it.
I
We
gotta
talked
watch
about that last night.
Yeah.
I watched the first episode.
It's sort of takes you back to earlier Bravo because there are some arguments and things like that, but it's not cutting down to the white meat and all that. Although I just watched the newest episode today, when there people was talking about, oh, can you grab Ramona and blah 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 yada yada.
Yes, I will watch.
And then
it.
Ramona
Hey,
went straight Karen.
Good to see you, Carla. Younger said, Real Housewives of Atlanta next season seems like it's going to be good. If they have 7 Peaches, Sonia Richards Ross is a hoot. I have to see. So she's the track star, Sonia Richards Ross. That's what they were telling me. She was married to an athlete. So
Ooh.
I'm going to. I may check it out. I don't know. I'm getting so tired of reality TV. Like I need a break.
Then take a break. You said it like you didn't have control. Like you have control, Candace.
I
need a break, guys.
I do want to see the ultimate girls trip though, because everybody keeps talking about how good it is. So it's
good, and it, like I said, it's very much earlier Bravo, not beginning Housewives like Orange County, how that used to be in the very beginning. Not like that, but very much earlier, like earlier Atlanta type of vibe instead of this later mean and nasty and low down stuff that they be throwing out now. So.
Yeah,
they need to fire Ramona.
They really do. This chick is a straight Karen.
Now I love Amy Mclaren.
Who's Amy Mclaren?
I don't know who that is.
I first found her through her daughters, the McClure twins. They were popular on Facebook. They have a YouTube channel now. Amy is, I think she's Nigerian. Her husband is a white man, and they have 2 twin daughters and a son now. But they are so cute. The little girls went viral. One I think was crying, and the other one started crying because her sister was crying. They're like 3 or 4.
That's really cute.
I don't like to see you crying. That made me cry. But she is so beautiful. So you'll have to check her out. She has her own YouTube
She's
channel.
supposed to get a peach for this season that's about to come out.
I've been hearing that.
Because I want to replace Marlo because I'm sick of real hoochies of Atlanta.
It's good and it's really well produced.
See, I love Marlo.
Karen. Ramona is a straight Karen, and I have never watched
Ramona is a Karen
day in my life. So I've never watched New York at all, not one single episode. But just on this girls' trip, and from what I've heard, and I see, like, yeah, Ramona's a straight Karen. She totally went Karen. She started a fight with Kenya, and then when Kenya retaliates, she went Karen. It was classic. It was right out of the freaking book.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's all I have for today, ladies. We've been on for an hour and a half.
What?
Long time for me. So any final thoughts on Insecure? We talked about that at the beginning of the show. So if you have just joined me, make sure you catch the replay and watch our review on Insecure. Surviving Okay was today's title. Anything else, ladies? Cat in the Chest said, I love Marlo too, Candy. It will be interesting to see how she moves with the peach. I know.
I agree.
It will be interesting to see.
I like Marlo as a friend of the show. Why the heck is Marlo getting a peach to the Real Housewives?
Like that matters. Like any of them are housewives. Half of them don't have a man, and half of them are the breadwinners.
I feel like,
and then the ones who are housewives, they try and tear her down because her husband supports her. Let's be serious. I would say final thought.
Anybody who is not a housewife on a housewife show as a whatever holder, whatever they hold, because all the different franchises hold whatever. Be a friend of the show, but I don't want to see you as a holder of anything, and you are not a housewife.
Are any of them housewives?
That's what I was like.
Candice, Cynthia,
when she started,
and Candy is still not a housewife. A housewife is a woman who is kept by her husband. Todd is kept by Candy. Just because you are married does not make you a housewife. Let's get it correct. And then the ones who are housewives, like Mia, they try to attack her. Oh, you say you self-made, but your husband, da-da-da. Well, that's actually a housewife when your husband invests in you. I'm talking about Potomac when they were attacking Mia.
Yeah,
so it's like, if it's the Real Housewives, Mia actually is more of a prototype of what a housewife is than any of them.
Ashley would be more, because Ashley don't have a career, but Mia.
Well, yes, Ashley, but we're talking, but you know what I'm saying. But you know what I'm saying. Mia is, nobody goes after Ashley about that though, but they were going after Mia for it. Like nobody goes after Ashley for running the restaurant with Michael. They went after the quality of. They went after the food because it was Australian, but they didn't go after Ashley for working with her husband.
Wanted kangaroo. Don't nobody want kangaroo.
I don't know.
Youngwood said Candace was a housewife. When?
Candace was a housewife if she was married to her mother. Don't get it twisted. I love you, Young Rich, but you know how I feel about Candace. Candace is not a housewife. Just because you're married does not mean you are a housewife. Though housewife is a very specific type of lifestyle.
Well, that is true.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts, ladies? Before we
like this video, subscribe to the Candy Shop, subscribe to Khadi B, pick up your love merch on CandyWashington.com.
Yes, CandyWashington.com, and subscribe to Candy Washington.
Yeah,
thanks, guys. And subscribe to Candy. Oh, see, I always get it messed up. Subscribe to Candy Shop. Subscribe to Khadi B. Yeah. We all love you.
Yeah. Everybody, mwah, mwah.
Bye.
But I want to welcome everybody to my channel, The Candy Shop. I am so excited. The Candy Shop.